Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Purmaknanatimirandasya gnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namini Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Prakarini Deshaya Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatadini Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Te Namaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratrishe Namo Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, everyone. Okay, all of you can unmute. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay. Welcome everyone. So today we are going to the chapter 5. So tomorrow is the last chapter on Karma Yoga. So today again we are going to see more on Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. So we had chapter 3 also Karma Yoga, and now into more detail. So all the first 6 chapters more on Karma. Okay. So again, Arjuna in confusion. So what is this Arjuna's confusion? Let's see. Arjuna Uvacha. Second. Sanyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha shamshasi yachreyayeta yorekam tanme bruhi sunishchitam. What is he saying? Arjuna said, "O Krishna, first of all you ask me to renounce work and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial?" So Krishna yesterday gave a lot of knowledge about Bhagavad Gita, and also he said like you have to even when we do the sacrifice, you have to know the why we are doing, like you should know the intention behind and the purpose behind the sacrifice. And so Arjuna is asking here, like if what Arjuna felt was, if I mean when compared to renunciation and with regard to the taking up, the working in the karma sannyasa. So compared to both, what he felt was this karma sannyasa, if I do, I'll be like more entangled. I mean, there is a chance of getting entangled. So he felt like renunciation may be safe. So again, he is asking. So why is Arjuna asking again and again? Because to clarify, I mean, to the common people like us, because we will still have doubts. So what is right? So now we'll see what Krishna is going to answer. So is it like taking renunciation is better or working like a working in devotion, which is better? So Krishna is asking. So what do you think is better? You can post your comment in chat. Which do you think is better here? Taking renunciation or working as a householder and working in devotion? Yes. Yes, Ravi Kumar. Renunciation in devotion. Dhanalakshmi. Yes. Rhythm. Renunciation in devotion. Yes. Yes, very nice. So basically, Bhagavad Gita mainly explains like it is not more. Krishna is never telling like he is not giving importance on external renunciation. It is more on internal renunciation, like working in the world, but you have to be detached. That kind of renunciation is Krishna is what talking about. So Arjuna is asking, should I stop sowing the tree? So, or should I stop expecting the fruit? So, Sri Bhagavan Sanyasa Karmana Yogascha Nishreya Karavubhau Tayostu Karma Sanyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate. The personality of Godhead replied, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation, but of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of the work. So we can see here, no, like this discussion is happening not between two sannyasis or like both are grihasthas, Krishna and Arjuna. So what is Krishna saying? The renunciation of work, it is also both are good. Working, a renunciation of work is also leaving everything and going to, but for that you need to be so much of austere, like it is more chances of falling down. You know, like even Vishwamitra also fell down 3 times he had fallen down. So it is not so easy, but then working, it will also take for liberation. But of the two, devotional service is better. Krishna is saying here. So we know like there's something called Markata Vairagya. You must have all heard. Smashana Vairagya. Anybody knows about this? You can post in comment. What is Markata Vairagya? Have you heard of it? Okay, not heard. Okay, fine. So basically, Markata Vairagya means monkey Vairagya. Like monkey looks like it is a naked, right? Naked means it has left everything and but always involved in sense enjoyment. I mean, it may be in forest, but it is in sense enjoyment. It involved with many female monkeys. So it is basically like if somebody is taking sannyas, but then not really following it. Externally, he may look like a sannyasi, but internally he may have all the lusty desires. Like there is a story of King Shikadvaja. So there was a king called Shikadvaja. He once he leaves everything. He leaves all his kingdom and everything, and he decides to take sannyas. So he comes to forest, but always his mind is agitated. So he does not understand why he is not able to meditate properly on the Lord. And then one day he finds a good sadhu. He meets a sadhu, and then he asks him, why is this happening to me? Why am I not peaceful? You look so bright and peaceful, calm, composed. Because that other sadhu was really composed, calm and composed. So he asked him. So he says that, oh, why are you asking me? I don't know who you are. So why are you asking me all this? So he says, okay, you don't know me. I am King Shikadvaj. He says, oh, which king? I haven't heard of you. Then he says, oh, you don't know me. I am such and such king. I have, I have such an empire. I have so many queens. I have so many elephants, chariots. I have conquered so many other kingdoms and all that. He starts praising himself for such a long time. Then the sadhu stops him. And then he says, okay, now I understood why you are still agitated, because you only externally you have left it, but internally you are always in those thoughts. So that is the example of Markata Vairagya. And also there is something called Smashana Vairagya. Like we know when some death happen in a family, what happens? Everybody suddenly they feel, oh, life is only this. Like okay, it's like we feel like okay, life is nothing. I mean, why am I working so hard? Like all these things will come. suddenly if somebody young dies, or in Corona time also many people died, and many film stars all young, like when they die, so all that the family people, they will think like, okay, when they go also to the cremation ground. So till that time, people will be thinking all that, and but when they are back home, again get involved in all material enjoyment thing, right? So this is called Arpita Vairagya. It is because this renunciation is not is very temporary. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, in translation, Prabhupada writes, you should not. Uh, this is actually said by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. You should not make yourself a show bottle devotee and become a false renunciant or the time being. Enjoy the material world in a befitting way and do not become attached to it. So better is to be in the material world and don't become entangled. Don't become attached to it. So there is a story of King Radha, so who was involved in fruitive activities. What is fruitive activities? Basically, famous like Madhava Seva. I mean, Manava Seva is Madhava Seva, right? Most of the 90%, I think 95% of the people believe that if we have to help people, that is the highest. So there was a king who was very much involved in such fruitive activities. So he used to do so much of dana, so much of charity and all that. And what happened? One mistake. What he did, he was doing charity of cows. So once what happened, he gave a lot of cows in charity to one Brahman. He gave because, and then after next day, what happens? Another Brahman comes and asks him that I heard that you are doing so much of charity. Can I also have the cows? So he gives him one cow, but unfortunately, one of the cow which was already sold to the first Brahman, it comes again to his place. So it happens, right? So there are a lot of cows. So one of the cow, that cow again came back to him. So he had sold that same cow which was already sold. So that is considered as, sin. So the Brahmins, so the other Brahmin comes and tells him that you have sold my cow. So the Radha tells them that I will give you in exchange 1 lakh cows, but they will not agree because he says, no, it is a sin what you have done. Once you have sold to one Brahman, you are not supposed to sell. So such a thing, like one mistake, he get a shrap. They give him a shrap to become a lizard in his next life. So after he did all so much of charity, so one mistake, he becomes a lizard. So then he was given a boon that when Krishna comes and touch it, he will be relieved. So this is what happens in a when somebody gets involved in fruitive activities. So it is always dangerous. So, and also when we are anyways giving charity, give the highest. So it is just like when a child is lost in a street. So somebody gives him food. Okay, it can go it can fill his stomach for 1.5 day or 1 day. That's it. And then somebody can give the cloth. It can come for a few months. But then somebody takes him to his father, right? He's lost. One kid is lost. So somebody is taking him to father. So don't you think that is the highest? So that is what is Bhagavad Gita does. It is actually connecting us to our eternal father, Krishna. So give the highest knowledge if you are anyways giving, or give some prasad so that they get elevated. So just a charity is not actually recommended in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna says, sowing the tree is your duty, but do it for me. I will take care of the fruit for you, because nothing actually belongs to us. Everything is Krishna. So non-devotee, whatever is earned, he thinks that I have done, I have earned it. And the devotee is always, it is Krishna's mercy. He thinks that everything, whatever I got, is the mercy of the Lord. So what is the takeaway message? The whole point of sannyasi going to forest and living a simple life is to uphold 4 pillars of Dharma. What are the 4 pillars? One is mercy, truthfulness, austerity, and cleanliness. So mercy means these are the 4 regulative principles which Prabhupada has given, and this is in Shastra. So whatever if you see Prabhupada follows, everything is from Shastras. There is evidence from Shastras. So these are called as 4 pillars of Dharma. So mercy, if somebody eats non-veg, then what happens? That mercy component is gone. The person loses the mercy component. He is no more merciful, because that is also the other. We worship. We say that we are spirit soul, but then we are killing the other animal, which is also a soul. So then that mercy component is gone. Then the truthfulness. So when somebody involves in gambling, then truthfulness is gone, or satya. So that is gone. So austerity. So tapasya, when somebody involved in intoxication, like or drinking or taking drugs and these things. So the tapasya is gone. It is said to be austerity. That person has lost tapasya. And cleanliness. When somebody is engaged in illicit sex, it's outside marriage, then the cleanliness or suchi is gone. So these are 4 legs of Dharma. This is the one which Prabhupada has given as a 4 regulative principle in the ISKCON. And yes, so anybody, it is not necessary that sannyasi, the main reason sannyasi goes is he has to control himself from all the sense attract, the things that attract him, like sensual activities. So these things actually, these four things, if we follow, then no need to that one person, a person has to go to forest. He can be in the world and he can still follow it. So what is a proper understanding of renunciation? Prapanchikataya buddhya harisambandhi vastunaha mumukshubhihi parityago vairagyam palukatyate. When persons eager to achieve liberation renounce things related to Supreme Personality of Godhead, thinking them to be material, their renunciation is called incomplete. So this is a famous verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, written by Srila Rupa Goswami, who is one of the Acharya who comes in Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So what is he saying? So there is no need to renounce anything. Everything is Lord. So what are we renouncing? We have not brought anything to renounce. First place, how can we say that I am renouncing something when I have not got anything? Everything belongs to God. So use it in the service of Lord. There is no need to, because when he left, he was a great scholar at that time, like around 500 years back, right? He came. And he was a minister in Mohammedans, like a Muslim ruler was there. So in Bengal. So he was he and his brother, like Sanatana Goswami, he is also one of the Acharya. So when Rupa Goswami retired, it was said he got gold coins full of, like one boat full of gold coins. So much gold he got. But he never denied that he don't want, because he used everything in service of Lord. He used 50% he used for Krishna's service, and 25% he gave it to the Vaishnavas, and 25% he gave it to his relatives. Sorry, not Vaishnavas. 25% to relatives and 25% he kept it for self-emergencies. So this is how he distributed the money. So here one more thing is, like, it is if somebody is standing in front of bank, right, and then say I'm renouncing this bank. So this sounds so foolish, because it never belonged to you. What are you saying renouncing? And also our material body, which is made of this 5 gross elements, this is also does not belong to us. God has given us this body. So if somebody is committing suicide, then it is offense, because Krishna has given us this body to utilize it properly, and we are not utilizing this human life properly. Then it is like we are not making complete proper use of the human life. So if somebody is very he may be proud, like I'm a good singer, or somebody is very brainy, or some scientist also, who has given that to them? Who has given that intelligence? Right? Krishna has only given the intelligence. So how can they say that I have done? Nobody can say that. So Neyasa nitya sannyasi yona dveshina kankshati nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. One who neither hates nor desires fruits of activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated. O mighty Arjuna, armed Arjuna. So, who is such person? Like a person, whatever, he is not attached to the results, then he can work peacefully. So he is actually to be real renounced, who neither hates nor. So one example which Prabhupada gives is in a book distribution. So in a book distribution, how much ever, like a whole day you may sit. I mean, you may go to people and you may go and try to sell the books, but end of the day, maybe even if one book is not sold, that is also fine, but it is not going to be wasted, because in spiritual thing, it is not that it is not like in material world. It is like only counted if your the result has come, otherwise you are considered like you are a failure. But in spiritual, it is not like that. Krishna only sees what is the effort you have done. So that is the real renunciation. Sannyasastु mahabaho dukkam aptum yogataha yoga yukto munirbrahma nachirena digacchati. Merely renouncing all activities yet not engaging in devotional service of Lord cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. So it is not at all advised just to renounce and go to forest. So it is better to engage in Lord's devotional service, so that person can achieve the Lord. So how do we do the devotional service? So yesterday I mentioned the 9 types of devotional service. Anybody remembers? You can post in chat, or anybody knows, you can raise the hand. I will unmute. What are the 9 devotional services? How we can please the Lord? How we can perform devotional services? Anyone knows? Okay, no one knows. Shravanam, Kirtanam, nobody remembers? iPhone. Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna, or Prabhuji, I don't know who is that. iPhone. Yes, I have unmuted.
Yeah, I wanted to say Shravanam, chanting God's name.
Yes, Mataji.
Atma Nivedanam.
Nice.
I don't know the exact sequence, but
yeah, you can tell whatever you know. Yes.
Yeah, the praying, and finally it is surrendering to Him, right?
Yes, Atma Nivedanam is surrender. So Shravanam is hearing. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. So these are the 9 ways how we can do the devotional service to the Lord. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyaha sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvan api nalipyate. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. So devotee of the Lord and a materialistic person both look same. Their activities, everything looks same. But then the only difference is they are working for the Lord, right? So he's always, his senses and mind always is it is only thinking of Lord, how to serve Lord better. So such person is never get entangled, though he is engaged in all the activities. The karma will never bound him. So how can we start the the Shravanam with the devotional service starts with hearing and chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes. Brahmani adaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate sa papena padma patram ivambasa. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. So the person who is working even in the material world without any attachment to the fruit of his action, he does the work, but he is not having attachment. So so surrendering the result to the Supreme God is unaffected by sinful action. He will not get any sinful action. So it is like in one of the lecture I heard, like there was one devotee who used to cook this jamun, right? One lady, Mataji, she used to cook. And then, but what happens after she cooks, she want to know how people felt. Was it good? I mean, she was expecting that appreciation. So that is one thing. And the other person, there was one Prabhuji, what he used to do, he will come and he used to make very nice jalebis. So he will make jalebis and then he will not even ask. He will just come, prepare, and he will leave. He will not even ask whether people liked or how was it, because he was not attached to the fruit of activities and he was not having any tension. But the other Mataji, she was having tension. So basically, when we have attachment to that fruit of activities, the fruits of our activities, then there will be anxiety. So how we should be? We have to be like a lotus leaf is touched by the water. So this is Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was in West. So if somebody goes to West, what will happen? Usually the person, most of the time we see that people change. So when they go there, they change. But Prabhupada didn't change. Instead, he changed everybody they changed. They changed their attire. Like everybody, Prabhupada made everybody, like they were all like more than, they were into mode of ignorance and passion, right? They were like they were not following any of the 4 pillars of Dharma. They were not following any 4 regulative principles. So, but still, everybody, Prabhupada made everyone Brahmin, right? How did he do that? So, because he was not attached, he was not attracted to the material opulence, which was there in West. But then people were attracted towards his purity. So, this is Prabhupada. So, when first initially he was sitting in the Toppington Square park and he was chanting. So, you can see this. Oh, again, I think I have not shared the audio. 1 second. Sorry for that. So why do you think like they're all like so much involved and in the chanting? Though they don't know like who is Krishna also, right? They don't know like who is Krishna. I mean, they only know Jesus, but still they are so much attracted towards the Hare Krishna mantra. Why are they attracted? Okay, you can post your answers. Yeah, Maha Mantra, the power of Maha Mantra. So basically everybody are spirit souls, right? It is basically, they are also spirit souls. So obviously they're attracted because this is Maha Mantra is not just for Hindus or any caste related. So everybody gets attracted and they get purified when they hear that more and more. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalair indriyairapi yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva tyaktatma shuddhaye. The yogis abandoning attachment act with body, mind and intelligence, even with the senses, only for purpose of purification. So these are all pure devotees, like they completely engaged, like they don't have attachment towards any worldly things, and they are engaged in the, they use all their, whatever God has given them, the body, mind and intelligence, and even the senses, everything in the worship of Lord for the purification. So Prabhupada, so these are all small children, but they are all, like Prabhupada calls them like a Vaikuntha kids, because they're all, it is not so easy to get interest in spiritual life or to get spirituality itself in younger age, because we all got very late. So it is not because they have done, Prabhupada says they are all Vaikuntha children, they are not ordinary children. And also they must have done so much of pious karma and in the previous life, otherwise it is not easy to get. And also Prabhupada says that you have, whoever has come to Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says that past 6 lives that person was in Krishna consciousness, has done something, some work in Krishna consciousness, otherwise it is not possible, because Krishna consciousness is like a diamond, it is not like a it is not cheap. So if somebody has got it, then we have to think ourselves as fortunate that we have got come under a right shelter of the Acharya. Yukta karma palam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishtikim ayukta kamakarena palasakto nibhadyate. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of labor, becomes entangled. So, so here we can see that when a person is engaged only for the sense enjoyment, so what is the difference? There is like between animals and human beings. If we are only involved in ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. So ahara is eating, nidra, sleeping, bhaya is defending, and maithuna is ahara, nidra, bhaya and maithuna, defending and reproducing. So ahara, basically what, like there is no difference between animal and human beings if we are only doing, because eating even the animals also do, we also do. Nidra, sleeping also they do, we also do. Bhaya, in the bhaya means like saving for the future. And then having the progeny, that also both of them do. So it is recommended that a person, when he gets a human life, he has to be utilizing for a higher purpose. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vasi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karayan. When the embodied living beings controls his nature and mentally renounces all action, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. So our body, this material body, is called as city of 9 gates. So what are those 9 gates? Eyes, and then mouth, 2 ears, and then nostrils, 2 nostrils, and then anus and the genitals. So these are called as 9 gates. So when the soul leaves the body, one of the gates, it leaves from the one of the gate. And also it is said here that when the person is mentally, he is renouncing everything, he can be happy in this city of 9 gates. This is a famous shloka. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini shuni chaiva svapake cha pandita samadarshinaha. The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, see with the equal vision a learned and gentle brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater, outcast. So please post in chat, how is it possible for a person to see equal vision? What do you think? How is he able to see? How is someone able to see everybody equal? He sees soul or Krishna. Yes, nice answer. Yes, Ridham Bharadwaj. Yes, no bias. Yes, how is that possible? Yes, thank you. So it is basically he sees the Paramatma, right? Paramatma, it is not just the soul. we are a Jivatma, but he sees Paramatma, Krishna in everyone. Krishna is in what hand form? He is in a four-handed form, like Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. He is in a four-handed form as Paramatma in everyone's heart. So this Pandita, he is called as Samadarshinaha because he is able to see everyone. He is able to see that Paramatma in everyone's heart. So there is no bifurcation for him. So it is even the Lord sees everybody equal. For him also there is no difference. So that is the reason, like if we do any harm to any animal, we will also get the the papa, whatever we have done for the animal also, because for Krishna, everybody are his children. There is no, because he says, Sarva yonishu kaunteya aham bija padapita. That is, I am the seed giving father for all the living entities. So for him, there is no difference. But for us, it may be difference. We may see like somebody is low, somebody is high. We have that because of the bodily identification. We have that differentiation. But for somebody who is elevated and who is he's in a stage like Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. So Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu. So he is equal to everyone. So this is so Krishna calls in the highest, the humble sage. Pandita Samadarshana. He sees the Paramatma present in everyone. So this is the Paramatma. So we can see the with four-hand form of Krishna, Lord Krishna. So what are the three realizations? This is the second realization. What is the first and the last? You can post in chat. Bhagavan. Yes, Bhagavan is the highest. And what is the first one? The effulgence. What is the effulgence called? Yes, Ridham Prabhuti. What is the effulgence called? What is the name for that? There is a name for that. Prakash? No. That is Prakash, but it has a name. No one knows. Brahma Jyoti. Yes, Kusum Mataji. It is Brahman. Okay. It is basically Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So this is a Paramatma who is there as a super. He is also called as super soul. We call it super soul. Pahyasparsheva asaktatma. Okay. Any of the reciters want to recite? You can recite the shlokas. Kusum Mataji, you want to recite? Kusum, or who is the, I don't know. Who is, where is she? Is she there or she left? Okay, no problem. Yes, Kusum, you want to recite? Kusum Lata, Mataji?
No, Mataji.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Bahyasparsheva asaktatma vindati atmani yat sukam sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukam akshayam ashnute. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. So he's not attracted to any sense pleasure. So we saw the story of Haridas Thakur, so who was also called as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called him as a Namachari. Actually, he was born in a Muslim family, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him the made him as a Goswami, and he made him as like a Brahman because he was chanting 192 malas. So we chant 16 rounds, which take 2 hours for us. And just imagine he was doing 192 malas, which would take almost like 24 hours. But then maybe a little bit fast he used to chant, and then he used to have very less time, less than 2 hours to sleep. So because of this, he was very famous in the town. And by seeing that, the one person, Ramachandra Khan, he was very envious of him because everybody were going to him and taking his blessings. because they know that he is such a pious person. And then that person, he tells a prostitute that this person is a dongi. I want to bring, I mean, everybody has to know his true colors. So you please go and you go to him, and like when you go there, like I'll come with the people, I'll come with the police, and we can catch hold. Then she says, okay, don't do that. Just wait for a day. The next day, I will only tell. At that time, you can come. Then she goes the first day, and then so she's like she says that you are so handsome, I like to embrace you. And then he says that, okay, now I'm chanting, then you can just wait. So wait till I finish. So she keeps waiting, then it becomes dawn, like morning, and then she cannot she says that, okay, it is already late, I mean it's already morning, so I'll come back in the evening. Then again she goes back, then in the evening she again comes. Then he says that, okay, please, I have not completed yesterday's also, I have pending, I'm just completing it, let me complete, please wait. So then she says that she says, okay, I'll sit. So the whole night she keeps waiting, and then this person has not. Then she goes to the Ramchandra Khan. She says that, I think this person is cheating, I mean he is not cooperating. Then he says, no, he's not, he's a donkey only, go. So then again she comes on the third day. Then again she hears the chanting. I mean, he says that still it is not done. This you come early today, I'll finish the chanting fast. Then finally she comes. I mean, third day also he keeps chanting, and in the meantime, what happens? The prostitute, she herself, she calls like Hari Hari. So that is a like and then she falls on his feet and she asks for forgiveness that she has done a mistake. Then finally she asks him that, you make me your disciple. Then Haridas Thakur says that then you have to give up all that you have earned by doing all this adharmic activity. Then she goes back, and she gives that all that to the poor, and she comes back, and then he also gives her the initiation. And then he says that that was a small kutir he was staying, and then he leaves that kutir to her, and he leaves from there. And next day everybody comes, and she also becomes famous, like she also keeps chanting in like how he used to chant, and people also start worship. So that is so those people are always in trance, they are not getting affected by any material uh, uh, objects. So Prabhupada also was always happy. So Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, Shitoshna Dukha. Like whatever happiness and distress is a part of life. So always he used to be in a blissful mood. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkayunaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddhaha. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material sense. O son of Kunti, such pleasure have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. So what is misery? Like whenever the sense object comes in contact with the senses, then the misery starts. So we see that with the, so these are like the insects. When for them the eyes are strong, so they are attracted towards the light. But what happens when they go near light and they get burnt? So the very cause of their desire, they get killed. And for the deer, the ears are very strong. So it is the hunter, when he wants to catch the deer, what he plays a flute. So it is very attracted. It runs behind it and it gets killed. And similarly, the bee, for it, the smell it's very attractive for the bee. But then it goes to a flower, and when the flower closes in the evening, it gets inside caught and it dies. And the fish, for it, the taste. So it is having so much of food available in the ocean itself, but then it is so much attracted. So whenever the fisherman he puts something bait, though it tries to catch it and it dies. So the elephant, it is the touch. So for elephant, how do they catch an elephant? So what they do, they send a female elephant. So this male elephant runs behind, and it is a trained one. The female is a trained one. So it takes there is a they make a dig and they cover that with the grass. So where the female elephant goes near it, and the male falls into the pit. So this is how the senses, all the this they are, because of the desire, they get caught. So for the human being, unfortunately, all the senses are strong. So, but for animals, it is only one of the senses are strong. But for us, all the senses are strong. So we are in more dangerous position. So what we have to do, so we have to understand, right? So why we have taken this human life and what is the purpose of life. So Prabhupada gives an example like a brick of gold can also be used as a paperweight, but it is not the proper use. You are just wasting it, because it can be made into nice ornaments. So if we are not doing that, then it is a waste of that gold. Similarly, the human, as a human being, we have got a better intelligence. So we can elevate. So we saw like how the human life Krishna compares to fire covered by smoke. But in animal life and plant life, it is very difficult. It is plant life is compared to the covered by mirror, and the plants are like it is a embryo in the womb, right? So their consciousness is very low. But for a human being, like little bit of effort is needed, then he can really elevate in his spiritual life. So the person crying that my house. So a non-devotee cries if something bad happens, that it is my house or something happened to my property. But but the devotee sees everything as Krishna's plan. So the best example is Prabhupada. When Prabhupada was like he was really rich, and I mean he was actually earning only to take this Krishna consciousness forward, and he always remembered his spiritual master's order that you have to go to West and preach Krishna consciousness. So he wanted to earn more to go to West, but then Krishna has a different plan, because his chemical factory got burned. It was doing very good. He was having good business. But then suddenly it got burned, and Prabhupada literally came on roads. But then that time Prabhupada smiles, and he thinks that, oh Krishna, okay, this is your plan. So you want me to completely engage in your service now. So this is the thought process of a pure devotee. So this is a famous shloka. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suradam sarva bhutanam natva mam shantim richati. So what is Bhoktaram means? Enjoyer. Enjoyer of yajna and tapasa. We know like Krishna is the ultimate for whom do we do all this sacrifice. So all the like for Kali Yuga we do the Hare Nama Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, right? So all this yajna is done because the enjoyer is Krishna. Yagnartam karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. So we have to perform all the activities as a sacrifice, otherwise it is bounding, Krishna says. So Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, he is the Lord of all universe, he is the proprietor of all universe. Suridam Sarva Bhutana means he is a well-wisher of all the living entities. Gnatma Mam Shantim Richati. So whoever understands this, so they get peace. So what is the real happiness? Real happiness one can get only because Krishna, he don't we want to enjoy individually, but Krishna wants us to enjoy with him because he is our eternal father. If we want to really enjoy, then we have to our activities to be connected with Lord, otherwise we can never be happy. So this is called as a peace formula. So the three things we have to understand here. Krishna is the enjoyer, Krishna is the controller, he is the proprietor, and Krishna is the well-wisher of the living entity. So proprietor, how we can think like, so there may be many people like in the past also, like India has been invaded by many Muslim rulers, right? So they come and conquer land and they can say like, I am the proprietor. But then Krishna is the supreme proprietor. And then there's one more example, like, okay, you have kept some sweet, okay? You have kept it on the table and you go to take bath. And when you come out, so the full ants have come there. So they have become the proprietor now, right? They think that it is mine, so they can eat. But then you just keep that sweet in the sun, everything go off outside. So similarly, like it was a mini controller. So it thought itself as a proprietor and controller. How do we? Like there are like a. So there were, we can think like the ants are going in a row, okay? And there is a head ant which is leading all of them. And then you bring a hose pipe and you put water, all are washed away, right? Then that they are all gone, including the head ant, everything. So similarly, we above us, like that was also a mini controller, the ant. But then above that is we had higher power. But higher to us are the devatas who can control us. So one tsunami or one earthquake, lakhs of people die. So because we are being controlled by them. So Ishvara, Krishna is above all of them. He is the supreme controller. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karana. So, but Krishna, being all proprietor, he likes to give the proprietorship to the devotees. He gives in the Kurukshetra, he became a chariot driver to Arjuna. He didn't wanted, he gives happily. He becomes a servant of his devotee. So he never expects like he want to be in the supreme position. He becomes a chariot driver. And Rama, Lord Rama, he gives the Lanka to Sugriv, right? He never wanted to enjoy it. So enjoy, and then Bhoktaram Egnat, this one, enjoyer. So Krishna want to give credit again. So he don't want to enjoy himself. He likes to give the credit. Like before the war started, he had already actually killed everyone. I mean, it was already planned. They all will get killed. But then Krishna tells Arjuna that you become the instrument. Okay. So this we will be seeing in the coming chapter. So Krishna, he actually, Lord Krishna is deserved to be loved. And we have to love and serve him because he is not like a commanding or what to say. He's not a exploitative father. He is like a giving father. So when as parents, we expect our children to obey us. So why can't we are all children of God. Why can't we obey Krishna? So if we obey him, then Krishna will reciprocate us accordingly, right? So Krishna says, Ye etamam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante. I mean, everybody follows my path. He says, also, ye etamam prapadyante. However, the way, I mean, to the degree of surrender, a person surrenders to me, the same way I will reciprocate. So Krishna says that. So this is the called as, then only a person can be peaceful. The translation: a person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities. So all sacrifices, austerities also includes like whatever we when Ekadashi come, we keep fasting. Like we only have, you should not have grains. You have to only have fruits. So that is also as a sacrifice because Krishna is pleased by when we do keep sacrifice for him. So sacrifice and austerities, the supreme lord of all planet and demigods. So only one Bhagavan. So Krishna is the Bhagavan. So everywhere in Bhagavad Gita we see that Vedavyasa addresses Krishna as Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is one and the supreme lord is one. Everyone else are devatas. So of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material misery. So what are the four miseries of four primary problems of our life? Four primary problems. You can post in chat. Yes. What are the four problems? Kamosha. Yeah. This desire. No, I'm asking the major problem. Like everybody who has come, see these things. Yeah, these things maybe somebody has, somebody may not have, right? Isha, Kamo, attachment. Not everybody has, but there are some four things which is common to all people. Everybody who has taken birth have to. I mean, who has come, who come to this material world have to go through these four things. What are they? Yes, Shruti. Death, birth, old age. Yes, and one more you left. Death. Yes, it is. Yes, I think closest is Shruti. Death, birth, old age, and disease. Okay. Yeah, rhythm. Yes, right. So these are the four major problems of life everybody has to face. Whoever has taken birth has to die, right? Birth, death, old age, and disease. All this nobody can escape. And there are three other secondary problems. So most of the society, 90% of the society, they forget the major primary problem that we have to come out of this like cycle of birth and death, because that is the main problem. But we have all of us, we have forgot that, and we are focusing more on the secondary problem, which is they are created by Adi Daivik, Adhyatmik, and Adi Bautik. So what is Adhyatmika Klesha means? The problems that are arising from one's own body and mind. So my body is giving I'm getting some diseases, and my mind is getting disturbed, and some mental diseases people get. All these are from the mind. So Adhyatmika Klesha, it is called as Adhyatmika Klesha, and Adi Daivika Klesha, which we face from the demigods, the devatas, right? So we have the floods or earthquakes and famine, all these things. Everything comes like a Adi Daivika Klesha. And the third one is Adi Bhautika Klesha. This is, I think, most of us are involved in this Klesha only because we are worried about what other people think. And it is basically created, the problems created by other living entities or animals, anything. Living entities means not just a human being, it can be animals, anything, insects or whatever. Everything comes in Adibodh. So only these problems are there in material world. Nothing more than that. Everything is covered in these two, primary and secondary. So these material miseries, if we have to come out of this, Krishna says that we need to understand these three things. Then only we can be at peace. So what is the peace formula? Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. So, and Krishna is the supreme controller. So, Krishna is our only well-wishing friend. So, Krishna is the supreme controller because he is the proprietor and controller. He is when Mahavishnu breathes from him, like millions of universes come out, right? When on his breathing it comes out, and when he breathes out, it goes in. So so many universes comes out. So we are very minute when we compare to the Lord. So he is the supreme controller. So Krishna is the only well-wishing friend. It is like everybody of us can help us to some extent, but Krishna, as a friend, he comes with us in every life as Paramatma with us to guide us, to take us back to his abode. So there are no other well-wishers than the Lord. Okay, this is a story Anybody knows which is this Leela? Name of this Leela? Brahma Vimohana Leela. This is called as. So once what happens? Lord Brahma, like when Krishna comes to this middle world, right? He was in when Krishna was born. So when Krishna came here, so Lord Brahma also got confused. Like he once sees, he comes to see the pastimes of the Lord, and then he sees like he hears so much like he has killed so many demons and all that. So Brahma wanted to test if he was a really god. Then he comes and sees, and Krishna is playing with all the Gopa boys, and he was having some juta, like he was grabbing some sweet. He was half eaten by his friend, and Krishna took it and had it. By seeing that, Brahma got it out that he may not be a god. How can a god have like a juta he's taking from a friend? I think he is not a god. So what he does to test him, he takes all the cows. I mean, they had brought all the cows for to the. I mean, all the boys have got cows for grazing them. So all the cows and cattle he takes, and also his friends also. They were all made to sleep, and then he first takes the cows, and after some time he also takes his friends, everyone. So what happens? So see, Krishna understands. So this Krishna comes and sees no one is there, no cows, no none of his friends were there. Then Krishna understands that this is Brahma. Brahma has done this. So then immediately what Krishna does, he expands himself to all the, I mean, he himself becomes cow, calves, and all the Gopa boys, everything. They all looked like a same. I mean, nobody could make out that because it was getting dark and he had to go home. Everybody at home, they'll be afraid, like if the child has not come home, right? So then Krishna had to do that. So he expands himself and everybody goes back. So we know that yesterday we were seeing how much like Krishna's, Brahma's 1 second is our 1 lakh years. So like it is like in not even a second. He just goes and he immediately comes back. Brahma comes and he sees like he keeps them in his place, and he comes down and he sees that it is everything is going naturally. All the boys are there, and no one. I mean, they were like almost 1 year. He came after 1 year because the time gap is so much. In a moment he comes, Brahma, but it is already 1 year here, and for 1 year they were all enjoying. They were all in a such a blissful state. Everybody felt the Krishna's presence. I mean, then usually what used to happen? Everybody used to come to see Krishna, but now since everybody had Krishna in their home, I mean, in their child form, but it was Krishna himself. So everybody were satisfied. They were all so happy with their children. And this Brahma comes and he immediately understands that okay, then this is not a ordinary boy. Then he brings back them and he apologizes. So such a creator like Brahma also has not understood the Lord. So how can we understand this supreme Lord? So if Brahma himself get confused, Brahma also, Indra also, we see that in when lifting Govardhan. So even Indra also couldn't understand the Lord. So then how can we normal human beings understand Lord so easily? But it is only possible by the mercy of the spiritual master, right? Like because from his guidance only we can understand the Lord. So peace formula, Krishna is our supreme controller. He is the supreme enjoyer, and he is the only well-wishing friend. So how can we understand this knowledge? This knowledge is not like by mental speculation, we can't understand this knowledge. So only through Lord's mercy and by chanting and by taking Lord name, then our heart get purified, and then we slowly start understanding the divine knowledge. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, all of you chant along with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Okay. What is Canto 11? Okay. Brahma Vimohana Leela you are talking about. I don't know the canto number. Sorry. Oh, I don't know, Prabhu. I don't know the number actually. I have not read so much. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. So, any questions you can ask? Okay, I'll unmute you all. I don't know if you're all unmuted. I think you are all unmuted. Okay. It's open unmute. Anybody can ask. Okay, Shruti Ranjan? No. Okay. I thought he is pointing. Rajani Verma Mataji, do you have any question? Hare Krishna. Okay, did you all understand today's chapter? Was it easy? Like, so basically, it is like we have to we have to do Nishkama Karma Yoga, right? You have to do the activity but without attaching to the results. Words 27 and 28. Okay, let me go back to the slide. What is 27 and 28? No, there is no 27, 28 in the PPT. Hare Krishna Mataji. Not, we don't cover all the shlokas. We take the important ones, right? We can't cover all the shlokas. Yes, Ravi Kumar Prabhuji, sure.
At which time I can join?
Yeah, morning 6 o'clock also there is a session.
And after that?
After that, Harshali Mataji, can you please tell what are the next session? Six o'clock we have, and 3 o'clock we have. 3 p.m. is there, Prabhuji. And morning, I don't think after 6 any sessions are there. I'm not sure. I need to check. Can you put me a WhatsApp message? I will share you the link for the class.
Yeah, sure.
You have my number, na? And,
sure, Mataji. Yeah, I'll send you.
I will message.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Pratima Mataji, I'm not able to see the translation of 27, 28. I don't see a 27, 28 here. See, after 22, there is 29. So what 27, 22 you are saying? Can you please unmute? Mataji, can you unmute yourself? Which slide you're talking about? You can just show me which slide you're talking about, please. Hare Krishna. Pratima Mataji, you can unmute yourself. Hare Krishna. Mataji, kindly unmute. I am not able to. But I don't think this is there in our PPT, right? It's not in slide. Okay. Okay, then I have to see the Veda base. Let me see if I am able to tell. Then I 27. Oh, there's no translation. Directly there's a pop-up. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Which one? This the PPT or the Veda base?
PPT.
Oh, 1 second. So I have to share that. Okay, I'll go to the Veda base. So is this the shloka you are talking about? 27, 28? Sparsha Krutva. Thank you, Mataji. Okay. Okay. Can you unmute yourself, Pratima Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, I have unmuted.
Okay. You have read this and you didn't understand you're saying, or you have not
I read
this?
just translation. I read translation of those shlokas.
Okay. Can you read the purport? Let's read the purport together. Yeah, read here. Being engaged. You can just read. Hare Krishna. Mataji, not audible.
Being engaged in Krishna consciousness, one can immediately understand one's spiritual identity, and then one can understand Supreme Lord by means of devotional service. When one is well situated in devotional service, one comes to transcendental position, qualified to feel the presence of Lord in sphere of one's activity. This particular position is called liberation in Supreme. After explaining above principles of liberation in Supreme, Lord gives instruction to Arjuna as how to come to that position by practice of mysticism or yoga known as Ashtanga Yoga, which is divisible into eightfold procedure called Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyadhara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. In sixth chapter, the subject of yoga is explicitly detailed, and at the end of fifth, it is only preliminary explained. One has to drive out the sense objects such as sound, touch, form, taste, and smell by pratyahara process in yoga, and then keep the vision of eyes between two eyebrows and concentrate on tip of nose with half closed lids. There is no benefit in closing eyes altogether because then there is every chance of falling asleep. Nor is there benefit in opening eyes completely because then there is hazard of being attracted by sense object. The breathing movement is restrained within nostrils by neutralizing the up moving and down moving air within the body. By practice of such yoga, one is able to gain control over senses, refrain from outward sense object, and thus prepare oneself for liberation in Supreme. This yoga process helps one become free from all kind of fear, anger, and thus feel the presence of Supersoul in transcendental position. In other words, Krishna consciousness is easiest process of executing yoga principle. This will be thoroughly explained in next chapter. Krishna conscious person, however, being engaged in devotional service, doesn't risk losing his senses to some other engagement. This is better way of controlling the senses than by Ashtanga Yoga. Mataji, I actually didn't understand means how to do this thing, how to concentrate on nose and that exact thing, how we can do, or is it not needed to be done?
No, this Mataji, actually this comes in Ashtanga Yoga. But this is, tomorrow we are going to deal with this Mataji. I mean, that tomorrow's chapter is itself Dhyana Yoga. Okay, you will understand that there. I will tell all the steps which is coming in this. Whatever we read now, no, pranayama, pratyahara, and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, all that is going to come in tomorrow chapter.
Okay, Mataji. This how to perform I didn't get. That's why I was asking this.
Yeah, that is there in detail. In tomorrow chapter, we will learn that.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
But why am I not able to see the translation I'm seeing here? For me, I'm able to see directly the purport. Okay. Shutting out all external sense object, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breath within nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence, the transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. So this is a different process of yoga
Means
which Krishna
how-
is explaining. Shutting all external sense object means he has to keep himself away. He has to go to forest to meditate. It is not possible to stay in this world and do this. Na? So this is a part of external Ashtanga Yoga. The yogis, how do they do that meditation? Because their aim is to see Paramatma, right? So for that they have to do what are the things are required? So that is coming tomorrow in Ashtanga Yoga. We can see that. Okay.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, breathing not completely stopped, but they control. Like Dhruv Maharaj, when he was doing the tapasya, he said like for days, almost like for 12 day, one breath he used to take and then he used to control. So it had become so severe, then all devatas had to, it was, suffocation was happening in the, in the world. So they had to go to Vishnu for asking to save them. So it is like, yeah, it is possible. It is not stopping. It is like controlling the breathing, inward and outward, both they control. Okay, thank you. So let's close if there is no other questions. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय नाम श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. I think weekend less people. Maybe tomorrow also we will have less people. Maybe by Monday people may join again. I think so. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.